Love.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome into Last Call here on WagerTalk. I'm Jo Madden, and we've got a loaded show. Week 10 of college football. So much to go over today. We will have Gianni the Greek joining us, Marco D'Angelo, and Kyle Anthony to bring in the end of the show to talk some UFC. Now, Art DiCesare of Westgate Superbook, unfortunately, is unable to join us today, but don't worry, we have everything that he needs. So we're going to jump into that first. Well, I have you here. Make sure you hit that like button over here on YouTube and open up your Odds Logic screen for shopping the best of those lines. So let's look here at what we've got out there on the Westgate Superbook, what we're needing here for Art DiCesare. So he needs UConn, he needs Cincy, he needs Cal, Boston College, and Indiana. So the needs of Westgate Superbook: UConn, Cincy, Cal, Boston College, and Indiana. Now the Sharps are having their money here on Clemson. Clemson laying the 3 points, and now it's moved to 4. We're seeing Notre Dame laying 28 and now 30 and now 31 and a half. So the Sharps coming in on Notre Dame, not worrying about that line movement. Michigan State plus the 6 now moved to a 4. The Sharps are on UCF plus the 4, now a 3. West Virginia plus 15, now 14 and 13. So I'm seeing that line movement there as the sharp money is sitting. When we look at the public is on Oklahoma and Penn State. Penn State versus Ohio State. We'll see what they're able to do against that defense. But public money coming in on both of those, as well as Army and Miami, Florida. Now, his favorite play of the day is looking at Arkansas State plus the 7.5. So we'll go over that again if anyone's joining late. I see you guys jumping in here in the comments. Really appreciate you guys joining us here. Happy November 1st, by the way. We have Game 7 in the World Series today. We've got so much going on. The Breeders' Cup's going on. Marco D'Angelo wants to bring that in for a couple minutes, but it is week 10 of college football. We have Gianni the Greek jumping in right away. Get your questions in the live chat over here for him. If you want to know something, he's going to bring those answers. So let's bring Gianni in.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning, Gianni?
Never better. Busy. Just firing away on college football. I released a couple free junior hockey plays that came across the screen. Those usually do good, those smaller markets. So head on over to WagerTalk.com if you want those.
Okay, I think we got a little bit of freezing there.
Otherwise, it's college football, UFC, and NFL for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a loaded weekend out here. You're absolutely crushing the books for sure, Gianni. Let's jump into a first of these couple of games out here. People talking about Ohio State. If Penn State can come out strong, what are you seeing on your side of things?
Yeah, I think Penn State could keep this closer than the 3 touchdown that this line opened. I mean, Penn State's a top 30 team still, even though they have a losing record. They're top 15 offense, top 15 defense. Haven't had the toughest strength of schedule. That's held me off a little bit, but they have the same strength of schedule so far that Ohio State's had. Top 50, barely. But Ohio State, again, they're going up against the number 1 defense. That's the problem that Penn State's going to face today. And more importantly, it's the number 7 offense. But like I said, you got 2 top 15s on the other side of the ball for Penn State, and they should be able to keep this close. I think the line's a little bit too high. It's inflated, and it should be. Ohio State's the best team in the country, at least 4 points better than the next best team, Alabama. So it makes sense that they jacked this line up, but I wasn't surprised to see sharp money come in and pick off the 21, pick off the 20, pick off the 19s. I was surprised to hear Art say that they're going to need the Ohio State side, because the books that I spoke to are getting nothing but Ohio State and a ton of Ohio State teasers for whatever reason. So yeah, it depends what book you're talking to, and more importantly, what line they have, because, you know, you shade a line a half a point, you could attract money these days if you're off market. So I think it depends on the clientele. But like I said, I think Penn State could keep it within the spread. I like the dog there.
Yeah, the dog plus the points for Penn State. You got to wonder how they're going to score on that defense, but they're going to find a way, Gianni. And you also look at this team. Penn State has been in some really tight battles. So even though they've been taking those losses, tight battles out there. We did have a question about your junior hockey betting. Do you mean the NCAA when you say junior hockey?
Oh, it's no, it's like the triple A teams.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
gotta love some AAA betting out there, Gianni, on the weekend. Okay, let's jump into it. Some things that you're really looking at.
All right. So far today, again, I love the college football board. Haven't isolated any 5% plays because I spread out our risk today. I got 4% plays in there for subscribers. About 3 or 4 3% plays as well. I'm spread out. I liked West Virginia. I gave them out, I think, also on bet on it at +2 touchdowns. Starting to see the public take West Virginia also. That scares me a little bit. Early, I like Duke. I know I'm seeing sharp money come in on the Clemson side. That's why that line's sitting around 3.5 and 4. But I disagree. Anything greater than a field goal, I thought Duke was the right side there. What else can I share? Here's some sharp plays. Again, this isn't stuff that I've released to subscribers. This is stuff that I've moved for other groups. Michigan -21, Bowling Green -1.5, Texas -1.5, Michigan State +5, West Virginia +14, Iowa State -5.5, Troy -7. That's opposite Arkansas State best bet. Old Dominion -16.5, Miami -10.5, and San Jose State -1.5. That's a lot of the steam moves that I moved throughout the week for different groups.
Nice. Are you worried at all with that? I know you're on Duke. What about Clemson for the homecoming here? Does that weigh into anything that you're looking at?
No, because it's so difficult to quantify. Like, what is it worth, and how does it carry over throughout the game? Like, does the adrenaline last for 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 20 minutes? Like, it's impossible to really quantify that. It's kind of like, as a handicapper, if you like Clemson, you're going to use that as one of the factors. If you're not on Clemson, you're just not going to mention it. Like, it doesn't matter. So it's like we're always able to find more support and more reasons to like a team or not like a team. But for myself, I just consider it noise. Like, I actually like stuff like that, because if you can't quantify it, like, I can tell you what every quarterback's worth. I can tell you what a wide receiver's worth, but I can't tell you what revenge is worth. I can't tell you what, playing a divisional opponent like this game really matters. We're motivated for it. And I always like to chalk that up to noise. Doesn't mean much. And if anything, take advantage of the narrative by going contrary to that narrative, that it's actually helping. Because again, how much extra, points is homecoming worth? I don't think much.
Okay, talking about some noise, Rob in the comments asking here a great question on Jim Knowles with Penn State. Now the DC, he's asking if Ryan Day is going to run up the score on him. I don't think there's bad blood between the two. Do you?
It's not even that. You're looking at a total of about 44, 45. So at least the market doesn't think this is going to be a game that's going into the high 50s. And I wouldn't be too confident that they're able to run up the score on Penn State. I mean, you have a Penn State team that has the 14th most efficient defense, and all the games they lost have been by like one score. And I'm a Ohio State fan. I have an Ohio State future. I want them to win the national championship. They're number one in my power ratings. But I still don't think that they could just automatically run up the score on Penn State just because you're looking at a 3-4 Penn State team. Again, power rating wise, they're still top 30 team. And as I touched on earlier in the week in a video and got a lot of pushback, you'd be surprised at some of the teams that Penn State would be favored over still in college football. So no, I don't think Ohio State is going to run up the score. And to be honest, I don't think they can run up the score against Penn State.
Okay, we're going to see that game play out at noon Eastern here. One game, lots of people dropping in the comments. Texas on the money line. They're a -170, -175 home favorite in this one versus Vandy. Vandy getting so much hype this season. Are they worth the hype here? They're a 3.5-point dog on the road going into Texas. Arch Manning, is he playing or still in concussion protocol as well, Gianni?
No. Vandy's the phoniest team in the ratings right now, in the rankings. If you watch the video I did earlier this week, Vanderbilt ranked at number 9 is an insult to college football fans. There's no way that Vanderbilt's the 9th best team in the country. Vanderbilt's not even in the top 15. Vanderbilt's not even in the top 20. Vanderbilt's not even in the top 25. They're not a top 25 team as far as power rating wise. This is a team that's 26th in offense, 37th in defense, and yet they've had the 31st toughest schedule. So they don't even have a top 10, top 20, top 25 strength of schedule. And yet they're not even in the top 30 in any of those predictive stats that matter. So this Vandy team is as phony as you're going to get. I know Texas is the sharp side. I think Texas should actually be the favorite in this game. But it's all about the Arch Manning situation. Again, with things like that, like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he playing good? Is he not playing good? The problem is, like, with Arch Manning, he came in with so much hype, he was never going to be able to live up to it. Texas would have had to run the table, blow people out, and for him to live up to expectations. So now the narrative is he's not legit. He's not as good as we thought. He just has the last name. So if anything, whether he's playing or not, I don't think it's that big of a negative. If anything, I think it's a positive from what the betting line looks like. It seems like he is playing. Again, this line now, Texas is 3.5, going up to 4 in some places. Obviously, I thought Texas should probably have been a bigger favorite at the opener than Vanderbilt, because I think Vandy's as phony as they come. I like Texas. I just think all the value's been extracted. Like, we laid the 1.5. You got to lay 3.5 now. It's a much different bet. And doing it on the money line, I don't know if that adds any value, because, again, the money line, when the betting syndicates got down, was at -120, -125. You're going to lay what? -200 now?
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a good value bet. When you're late to the party, you just got to sit it out sometimes. Like, again, even if Texas goes out there and wins this game by 30 points, it's a terrible bet, knowing you could have got a much better number. You never want to be buying at the top and selling at the bottom. And that's exactly what you're doing. You may, again, Texas go out there and cover that 3.5, but it doesn't make it a good bet. Bad bets win all the time. Good bets lose all the time. But if you get in the habit of placing best bets over and over again, you're going broke. If you get in the habit of placing good bets over and over again, you're going to make money. In the short term, anything can happen. But I don't think Texas is a good bet today. And I'm on Texas, but not at 3.5.
Okay, so what happens here if Vandy comes out, gets the points on the board first? Would you tell everyone who's missed the best of the number then to come back in on Texas on the money line at that point?
Absolutely.
When you're getting a better price?
That's a smart way to play it, to sit back because you missed it and hope that Texas falls behind. And now you have the favorite for the game that we all agreed should be favored in that game, should be close to a -4 favorite. And now you're going to get them at a discount at home. I think that's the way to play it. And if it doesn't happen, then you just pass. Again, just try to get in the habit of placing good bets. And when that was really what you said was really on point, because that's how you have to be as a handicapper and as a plus EV winning better. You got to get creative sometimes. And when you miss it, how can I still get my money down in a good spot? And that's a perfect way to do it. Sit back. If it plays out that way and Texas falls behind, then you possibly have a good bet with Texas at a better number. If not, let it go and look on for a next one. So yeah, I'd look for Texas live if they fall behind.
Okay, look for that live number, you guys, when you're getting a better price on that money line. What about Georgia Tech? Do you think Georgia Tech is a joke, overrated as well? We're seeing in the comments strength of
look at that Penn State money coming in. Look at that Penn State steam coming in. We're looking at 17.5 right now at Pinnacle. They ain't running up the score on nobody, Ohio State today. Georgia Tech, another phony. Phony is a $3 bill. That team as well. That's why I love college football. That's why we're sitting number 1 in profit in college football, because the rankings are based on nothing but the records alone. You could be 8-0, and it don't matter if you haven't played anybody. You're going to be in the top 15 for sure in college football, and those teams always get exposed. And Georgia Tech, right here, I'm going to give you the 3 teams that are next to be exposed. Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M. Those are the next 3 phonies that are not top 10 teams that are about to be exposed. And will Georgia Tech get exposed today against NC State? Hopefully, because I'm on NC State +6. That line's dropped since then because of all the sharp money that agrees with me as how fake Georgia Tech is. Now that line's dropped a little bit too much. The value's been extracted once again. So I wouldn't be piggybacking the NC State side right now. But I would not be taking Georgia Tech even down at -4.5. Again, I think this team's it's just whether it's this week, next week, but the wheels will fall off because they are a ranked team that shouldn't be where they're sitting.
Okay, just a couple more questions from the live chat for you. Jay Lee throwing out the question: can Kansas State keep it close at home over Texas Tech?
No chance. Texas Tech rolls today. They roll today. That 7 is a gift. How that's not 10 is beyond me. That almost made 5% criteria for me, Texas Tech. I'll tell you that. If I wasn't firing such a big bet tomorrow in the NFL, because I didn't want to go into it in the NFL off, a loser, because we've been doing so good in college football. I didn't want that pressure of a 5%. But I can tell you this, Texas Tech is as close to qualifying as you're going to get. The only reason they're not is because it came back down off that 7.5. If that continued moving in the right direction, believe me, I have a bigger position on Texas Tech. I know that sounds counterproductive, but I don't like that they're not getting the respect in the market. They did when we bet it. We laid the 6.5. We laid the 7. We were looking at 7.5. I wanted to wake up this morning and look at -8. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at -7. That worries me a little bit. But I do like Texas Tech. I am on the Texas Tech side, and I think win this game by double digits on the road.
Nice. Nicely done there. Okay, one more question before we let you go. Army, Air Force, under, any thoughts? Austin Williams throwing out that question.
Yeah, here's what I can tell you. One of the guys that this guy just bets college sports, college football, college basketball. And I help him get down. He doesn't live out here. He bets a lot, bets 5 dimes a game. Anyway, he bet 3 college football bets, asked me to bet 3 things for him this week. He gave me Rice +7 in the first half. He gave me under 49.5 in the Michigan game, and he gave me under 49.5 in the Air Force game. I haven't bet that yet for myself. It's going off now, so I'm probably just going to take the commission that I get for placing his bet because we got a good number at 49 and it's sitting at 48 right now. But yeah, that's what I can share. But again, I haven't released anything to subscribers on Army, the Army Air Force game. I kind of like Army myself. If I have to bet it, I'd bet Army. But fortunately, I'm not forced to bet everything, so it's a pass.
Gianni, if people want to go to the window with 1 or 2 bets, where would you say the best bang for their buck is right now on college football?
In college football today, I'd go over 66 in Mississippi State and Arkansas, and I'd go under 31.5 in UAB Connecticut first half. I know they're not sexy. They're not top 10 games, but that's why we're up over 100 units, because we're not after sexy. We're after cash. So that's what we like today. Over 66 Mississippi State, Arkansas, under 31.5 UAB Connecticut first half. Best of luck.
What have you got for sale? Quickly,
yeah, if you like money, you're on board already for this weekend, because we're going to win in college football. We're going to win in the UFC, and I'm going to win in the NFL. I'm that confident about this weekend. Those 3 packages are all going to be profitable. Only 4% are going in there. You got to be a subscriber to get the 3s, the 2s, the smaller bet, but only golds are going in those packages. Go to WagerTalk.com. We'll make some money this weekend. Tomorrow, the Steam Room, final hour heading into NFL. We'll do sides, totals, player props for every single game, and we'll put together those plus EV teasers the final 15 minutes. I'll answer all your questions. I'll be on last call tomorrow as well. And whether you follow or fade, hope you make some money today. And don't forget, there's a good UFC card. Got some live dogs in there for you.
Make some freaking money, Gianni. You guys, that was Gianni the Greek coming in with everything that he's got today on the slate. If you want his best bets, do make sure you head on over to WagerTalk.com. Lots of great deal specials rolling there. He's also got a nice card for the UFC. I want to remind you guys of what Art DiCesare of Westgate Superbook is having to get here, where the money is going before we bring in Marco D'Angelo. So the Westgate Superbook does need UConn, Cincy, Cal, Boston College, and Indiana. The sharp money is on Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan State plus the points, UCF plus the points, West Virginia plus the points, and then public money coming in on Oklahoma. Tight spread in that one in that late game. Public money also coming in on Penn State, Army, and Miami, Florida. His favorite play of the day is Arkansas State plus the points. But we got Marco D'Angelo jumping in with us now. Make sure you guys get in the live chat. Drop your questions for him. Good morning, Marco. Happy Saturday. Happy November 1st.
Hey, thanks, Joe. First time get to do the show with you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it as well, Marco. I can't believe it's already week 10 of college football. How's the college football season been treating you thus far?
Football season's been good so far, and especially when we've isolated bigger plays, our 4% in higher plays college football. We are 13-4 so far this season. Very selective, me, Joe. I don't have a ton of games each week, but we try to isolate what we've got. Last 2 days heading into Saturday, we're on a 3-1 run. So looking forward to keep it rolling along this weekend.
Okay. Did you bring some bread? Because SF Niners asked if you brought the bread today.
Yeah, we're bringing some winners, hopefully for you guys. And we got some football. We'll talk football. We'll talk a little Breeders' Cup Classic, the big race today. And it's a fun Saturday. I mean, you've got all kinds of action. And then you got Game 7 of the World Series, too. So a perfect Saturday to kick off the month of November.
It's going to be a perfect Saturday if my Toronto Blue Jays can close it out tonight. I tell you, last night, Marco, I was sweating it at the bar, but we can look at the Breeders' Cup first. Let's look at that, you guys, in the live comments. So drop your questions for college football week 10 Saturday here. What are you doing today with the Breeders' Cup, Marco?
Well, there's a big card today, but I isolated on the big race, the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's the premier race everybody likes to look at. And with the scratch of Sovereignty, it opens the race up a little bit. It's going to make Fierceness the favorite in the race, the number 1 horse. And Chad Brown has 2 horses in this race. He's got Sierra Leone, number 7. And he also entered another horse in this race. And this is something that, as a horse owner, ticks me off when I see this happen. But he entered a horse, number 4, Contrary Thinking. This horse has 0 chance in this race. No chance at all. He is in the race. He's owned by the same owner, owns both this horse and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a stone cold closer. It's going to come from way back. And when you have a horse that's a closer, you need fast fractions early in the race so you can make up ground late. This horse is in the race for one reason only. He is a rabbit, so that he'll go to the front and he'll try to set fast fractions to help his stablemate, Sierra Leone. That's going to compromise Fierceness a little bit. Now, the horse that I'm going to key on, Fierceness is still the horse to beat. Don't get me wrong. And Sierra Leone will be coming late. But the horse I like is number 5, Forever Young. Forever Young raced in this race last year as well. And I think got caught up in the same tactics. He was too close to the fast pace early in the race, and he had a bad post position 1 last year. He will set off the pace this year, but he'll get the jump on Sierra Leone when they turn for home. And this is a horse that come over from Japan. He had been racing in Japan, in Saudi Arabia, over in Dubai. This horse has raced twice before in the United States. In the Kentucky Derby last year, was in that 3-way photo for the win, and then raced last year in this race in the Breeders' Cup. I think he's the horse to beat. We're going to take him. I'm going to take him win in place, and I am keying him in my exactas in this race. And my projected order of finish, is Forever Young on top, number 5, Fierceness, number 1, second, Baeza, number 2, finishing third, and then Sierra Leone finishing fourth.
Oh, I love it, Marco. Marco rolling with Forever Young, that number 5 horse out there tonight. Okay, Marco, let's jump into some college football. Firstly, I want to hear what you're thinking of some of these big games before we do jump into the questions and the comments over here on YouTube. We got the big ones kicking off at noon. You got Vandy versus Texas. I want to hear if you think Vandy is overrated like Gianni the Greek believes. And then Penn State versus Ohio State. I think that is going to be an interesting game to see. Jim Knowles versus Ryan Day on opposite teams now, and what Matt Patricia is going to bring with that defense again of Ohio State, who's allowing less than a touchdown a game, Marco. It's unbelievable what they're doing.
Yeah, this is a spot where I agree wholeheartedly on the Texas play. I think Vanderbilt, it's been a nice season, but they've had an easy schedule to date. They're going to get exposed today. The Texas defense is the difference in this game. I don't see Vanderbilt having success moving the football against Texas. And Texas won a game last week. Let's be honest, Joe. They shouldn't have won the game. They got a break late in the game. They got that punt return. They got them into overtime. And so often with good teams, when they have a fluky win like that, that's what catapults teams on to winning streaks. So I wholeheartedly agree with the Texas play. Now, the Penn State play, here's the thing. In theory, all of this sounds good with Penn State, keeping this thing competitive, but we know it's been just a nightmare of a season for Penn State. What I would feel more confident in doing with Penn State is maybe make a play on them in the first half, because what happens, yeah, they're going to come into this game. They're going to be sky high. They're going to want to have a good showing. But when you have a team that's had a season as bad as they've had, if one or two things go wrong during the game, sometimes you see these teams, it spirals out of control. You know, a good team can overcome it, but a team that's had a hard season, they, go, oh, here we go again, and things unravel quickly. So I would, if I'm personally, I'm not playing it. I am involved in the Texas game. I'm not involved in the Penn State game, but if I was, I would lean more to a first half wager.
I like that first half look there, especially as we know Ohio State in some of these games, they pulled away late in that second half. So I like where you're going. Rob Christensen coming in here asking you why Washington State's only favored by 3.5 in the Pac-12 championship game over Oregon State. He thinks it seems too light. What are you thinking, Marco?
I like the Pac-12 championship, the two orphans playing one another. Full disclosure, I thought the line last week on Washington State looked like a trap whenever Toledo was a 1-point favorite over Washington State last week. And, I was completely wrong. I had Toledo and Washington State won. Washington State's been a nice surprise. I thought teams just looked past them in the last few weeks when they've had those close losses. And that's why I wanted to go against them with Toledo last week, because I said Toledo's not going to come in here and look past them. This is a big game for Toledo, getting to come, to the West Coast and, play a name school, even though, it's Washington State. They were from the former Pac-12, currently the Pac-2. But this one here, if I played the game, I lean Oregon State. But I got run over by Washington State last week. I'm not doing it again.
Okay, we did have a question here about a dog, Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 10.5-point dog. I know you love the dogs. They're taking on Florida State. We got a total of 51.5. Can Wake Forest do enough to keep this one tight with Florida State?
I do think they can keep it tight with Florida State. Florida State got off to that good start, and then things have unraveled after the Virginia game, that Friday night game, which we had Virginia in that one. I thought it was a great spot for Virginia. And so often these teams, whenever they finally, have that game that ruins their season, it puts them in a slide. And that's what we saw with Florida State. I definitely agree with the Wake Forest side. If I'm playing the game, that's where I'm at. Take Wake Forest plus the points.
Okay, gotta love the dog plus the points in that one. We did have a quick question here from X. People join in from X, getting those comments in. Love to see it. Thoughts on Buffalo versus Bowling Green?
Hate to not give you an answer on that one, but I looked at that one and I didn't see anything in that Mac attack game that I liked, and are just better games on the card for me. Sorry to give you no answer on that one, but I did look at it, but I couldn't make anything out of the Mac in that one.
Yeah. I don't blame you at all. That looks like a tough game for sure. Marco, what do you have circled today? What are some of the best free plays you can give out to us here?
Well, we definitely, I told you, Texas, I'm on that side. That is, a client play. I heard you talk about the Central Florida and Art saying he's got some sharp money on that. That's a game that we gave out earlier this week on, I do so many different shows. I forget which show we had it on, but I did give out Central Florida. I think it was on Bet On It that we had Central Florida. I do agree with that side. I think tonight a game that's interesting is Ole Miss. I was on South Carolina last week, Joe. I thought it was a bad spot for Alabama. Alabama had a bunch of big games in a row, and I thought they would look past South Carolina. South Carolina had a couple losses there, and I thought it was just the right spot. And they took Alabama to the limit last week before Alabama got that late touchdown to get the win, but not the cover. That's all we care about. We got the cover. Yes. Now South Carolina goes out on the road. Yeah, they're playing another, top 10 team, but how many times, can you play your guts out and come up short like that in a season that South Carolina has had? And we know Lane Kiffin, whenever he gets a lead, he's not a guy that's going to start running the football. He keeps his foot on the gas. I think Mississippi blows South Carolina out tonight. I think that's a good game to have on your portfolio for tonight. Take the Ole Miss minus the points.
Maybe a little bit of a ladder there, Marco, going up, getting them winning bigger. So
you got a couple dead numbers there that you can work with. Take it up a little bit. I don't want to go over the 14. I don't want to get too greedy with that price, but I like, I'm satisfied. I know, with the new age of betting, Joe, and same game parlays and everything else, everybody likes to get creative, but I'm old school. I'll take my even money bet and just cash the ticket.
Okay, I don't blame you there. Sometimes I get a little greedy, Marco, and at the end of the night, I'm kicking myself like I was with my Jays, thinking they could get another win last night. But a couple more questions here in the chat before I let you go. Thoughts on Duke and Clemson tonight? Clemson, can they get it done?
I don't trust Clemson. This Duke team, they've got a dynamic offense. But if you watch Duke and you bet them, you're going to hold your breath every time the defense takes the field. That's the problem, with this team. But Clemson, it's just, this is one of those teams, not to the degree of Penn State, where Franklin got fired, but, Dabo, it's not been a good year for what people in Clemson expect. And when you're at this time of season, just looking at that line and seeing Clemson only this much of a favorite, that just so fishy, there's only one way I can play, and I'm going to take the dog there, and that is Duke plus the points.
Okay, I like going with Duke plus the points. Now, Big Baby doing something that I love to see. He's taken Wake Forest on that alt line instead of grabbing them plus the 10.5. He's grabbing them plus the 6.5 at that plus 170 mark. So lots of love coming in here for these teams, Marco, and lots of love coming in for you today. I want to wish you all the best out there on the books. What have you got for sale over on WagerTalk.com?
Well, Joe, the best go if you guys look to get involved on the weekend is our Weekend Warrior package. It's $49. You'll get all of the football selections, college and pro, Saturday and Sunday. And if we have a Monday night play, it gets thrown in as a bonus as well. And $49, I'll tell you how good of a value that is. I have a 5% play today. I don't have 5% all the time. The 5% sells for $35 by itself. And since February of 2024, we're going back February of last year, 36-14 with these plays. I've had 50 of them. That's over 2 years. Okay. So join me today. You can grab that $49 Weekend Warrior package. You'll get everything today with that big 5% play, college and football, and then we'll get the big NFL card tomorrow. And then Monday night, if we're involved, and I can tell you, yes, I'm going to be involved in Monday Night Football. I do like a side. So grab that Weekend Warrior package, and whether you're on board with me or somebody else, that's available for everybody at WagerTalk, the Weekend Warrior. Good luck with all of your plays, and go forever young in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Oh, let's go forever young, and let's go Blue Jays, Marco. Come on, throw out the love for my Blue Jays. All the best in all your bets. Keep crushing the books, and thank you so much for joining us here on Last Call. Everyone showing the love in the chat. Appreciate you, Marco. You guys, that was Marco D'Angelo. Again, head on over to wagertalk.com to look for his bets over there. Don't forget that Breeders' Cup Forever Young, that number 5 horse, coming in nice and strong for Marco tonight. Let's root him in. But we're going to talk some UFC. We have a UFC fight night tonight. We got Kyle Anthony joining the show to give you those best bets that you don't want to miss out on. Good morning.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It is November 1st, but October was very, very good to us. Over those 4 or 5 events, we've cashed over 30 units. So we're rolling that momentum right into November. Feeling good about it.
Yeah, I was going to say the last time I got to do a show with you, I tailed those UFC plays that you gave out, and I cashed big. So thank you, Kyle, so much for that. Looking at UFC Fight Night tonight, what are we looking at for this main card?
Yeah, so in the main event here, we've got Steve Garcia here. He's minus 130. On the comeback, we've got David Onama. He's plus 110. And this actually, I know people love the numbered events, the UFC 321s and all those. This is a great card here. There's some good betting opportunities here. And this is actually also going to be a fun fight. I think both these guys are going to come forward. There's going to be a lot of fireworks. Now, you've got Onama here, who is an explosive striker. This guy's going to come forward. He's going to throw. He's got great kickboxing. And what he's done is he's been able to add some wrestling to his game, kind of round out his skill set a little bit more. Against Giga Chikadze recently, he had 3 takedowns, 6 minutes of control time. And that's a little bit something that he wasn't doing as much, but mixing it in has definitely helped him out. Now, on the other side, you've got Steve Garcia here. He's on a 6-fight win streak. 5 of those do come by knockout. And one thing that he's got is he's going to come forward. He's a little bit unorthodox at times. You know, he's a little herky-jerky, but he's got the power and he's willing to stand in the pocket, go toe-to-toe, and throw. And that is really where I think he can find success in this fight, is because he's got a lot of pressure and he's got a lot of power. Now, Onama struggles with a little bit of pressure. Now, any kind of pressure comes, you know, he does struggle. He's a better hammer, not a good nail. You know, he wants to come forward. He wants to be able to throw. He wants to dictate the pace, mix it up. And I think that's where he's going to struggle here, because I think that off of his back foot, he's not going to be able to get these takedowns. It's very hard for your momentum to move forward when you're really crashing the pocket, throwing those big shots. And I think that really you know, Garcia is going to win big time in those exchanges. And even with Onama on this 4-fight win streak, you know, very small win margins that he has had throughout this, just kind of edging it out. You know, again, Giga Chikadze, as I said, very close and significant strikes. He needed the 3 takedowns in order to find success. And even against Jonathan Pierce, very, very close again on significant strikes. Pierce lands 5 takedowns and maybe earned the victory there, but was very, very close. And an eye-opening fight to me really was one of his recent fights against Roberto Romero, where Romero is more of a regional fighter. He's not really UFC caliber. He's got an 8-5 record career in MMA, and he dropped Onama early. He had some success. Credit to Onama coming back, but I thought it was a very bad look. So in this spot here, I'd like Garcia. I think that Garcia's pace, his pressure, his power is going to be a little bit too much there for Onama. I think the knockout probably happens here, but I'm comfortable here at around minus 130, and I think he gets it done in the main event.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We got a nice price here on the money line, right around that minus 130 for Steve Garcia over Onama, who's coming in at plus 114. You think the knockout, but the money line, just a better way to go with this one?
Yeah, I mean, with so many knockouts, and this is going to be a 5-rounder too, so there is going to be that time for it to happen. I do think these guys are going to swing, they're going to throw, but one of the things that kind of pulled me a little bit away from making it a stronger play is because of the fact that, you know, Garcia just recently fought Calvin Kattar. He was a lot more patient. You know, he realized this is a higher level striker. He's going to take his time, and he went to a 3-round decision. This is 5 rounds, but still he's being a little bit more calculated. So he might not come in there guns blazing, but I still do think that Garcia gets the job done. And I think money line's a little bit safer.
Okay. What weight class are these guys in, Kyle?
What are we in? Lightweight, I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah, I love where you're going with this one. Who else are you looking at on the card today?
Yeah, so the other one here I do like is Timmy Kawamba versus Chang Ho Lee. Now you got Kawamba sitting around -120. You got Lee at +100, and you've got Kawamba here, who is a well-rounded fighter. You know, this guy has some boxing. He's got some good hand speed overall. He's going to be the better striker between these two. He does have that in this fight. But what you're looking at here is, I think, a big issue on the Kawamba side is the fact that Kawamba is moving down to 135 pounds for the first time in his career, from 145 to 135. And, 10 pounds may sound a lot, a little, whatever it is, but it's definitely going to be extra, and it's more that he needs to do in camp. And that can also, maybe deplete or deteriorate your cardio, your durability. There can be that can start to happen here. He is 1-2 in the UFC. And a lot of times I don't really like seeing newcomers come into the UFC, not have success, and then they start making changes. They're starting to look for better weight classes. Maybe it's the weight, maybe it's this. And a lot of times, obviously it's a cage fight, anything is possible, but a lot of times where these newcomers come in, they're making these changes, it's really their skill set than it is the weight class that becomes the problem here. And I do think the moving around could cause some problems, because particularly in this matchup here against Chang Ho Lee, he has stylistic advantages here. And one of the things that I think that he's got is that he's going to move forward. He's going to crash the pocket. And Kawamba's a guy who doesn't mind fighting off of his back foot because he wants to utilize space. He wants to utilize his boxing. Now, this is going to be in the apex cage, the smaller cage. And that, I think, really provides a great landscape for Chang to move forward, push Kawamba up against the fence, keep him there, hold him there, work him there. And I think this aggressive style, I think, is really going to force Kawamba to be a lot more defensive. And I think that's where he does find the success here, because the other part of it is the fact that Chang is he weaponizes that cardio very, very well. And now if Kawamba has some kind of issue here, when you're talking about cardio with this weight cut, whatever it may be, that may be a great spot for him to really have Kawamba continue to work and start to get these takedowns, start to win positionally. So I do like Chang Ho Lee here. I do think that, he's going to be able to bank rounds, win positionally, dictate the pace, find control time here. So I like him here. It's a slight, it's roughly, depending where you're shopping at, around a +100 here. So I like Chang Ho Lee here to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Go over to Odds Logic, you guys. Shop those lines over there, because there are different lines depending on your book. Do you think this one could go all the way the distance?
I think that this is a spot where I do think that if Chang Ho Lee wins, I think that it is going to be positional. I think it's going to be a grind. I think he's going to control him up against the fence. I think if he takes him down, I think Kawamba can struggle maybe getting up. He's going to hurt him there. I don't really think the finish comes here. So if there's a way to go about it, I do like Chang Ho Lee by points.
Okay, so looking ahead in the UFC, what big cards do we have coming up? Anything that's catching your interest early here, Kyle?
Nothing that's catched my interest, but there is UFC 222, UFC 322 is a great card. You got Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, a great fight, a great card. I mean, that one is stacked from top to bottom. I do believe that's like 2 weeks away from now, but some great spots there that we got to look at. But again, one card at a time. Some great spots here this weekend. And, last weekend was very good to us. We cashed 14 units for clients. So we're keeping the ball rolling here and finish actually, you know what? And also, let's not forget 6 UFC events left in 2025. So don't forget about that. We're going to finish strong here. There's always some good opportunities to make some money. So let's cash this weekend.
Absolutely. You guys head on over to WagerTalk.com to grab Kyle's UFC picks. You don't want to miss out on all of them. You've been rolling nice and hot. I'm definitely going to be tailing you today. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us here on Last Call.
Thank you. See you next week.
See you next week. Okay, guys, that was Kyle Anthony rolling in here with those UFC bets that you want to get in on before these fights kick off. Now, Marco D'Angelo came in. He talked college football for you guys. He talked Breeders' Cup. We also had Gianni the Greek. And then if you did miss, we talked about what Art DiCesare is needing from the Westgate Superbook. I'm going to run over that just one more time here for you guys, and then I'll let you get on your way because these games are kicking off at the top of the hour. So the Westgate Superbook, Art wasn't able to make it today, but he did send us what they're needing. They're needing UConn Cincy, Cal, Boston College, and Indiana. The sharp money is coming in on Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan State plus the points, UCF plus the points, and West Virginia plus the points. And now that line with West Virginia was 15. It's moved down to plus 13 now. The public is coming in on Oklahoma, Penn State, Army, and Miami, Florida. But like Gianni said, that's just going to depend on your book because he is seeing a lot of public money over there on the Buckeyes. And then we're seeing Army and Florida get that public love as well. And then we're also got Art's best play of Arkansas State plus the 7.5. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us here for Wager Talk Last Call. Don't forget to join Ariel tomorrow morning with a loaded slate, 11 a.m. Eastern, talking your NFL last calls. It is week 9 in the NFL. Below this video, let us know what you are liking out there today in college football. You guys, week 10 of college football. I'm a Buckeyes fan. I'm going to be cheering for my Buckeyes. It's going to be a hard game versus Penn State. Love where Marco went the first half, Penn State. And then maybe the Buckeyes pull away, but that should be a tight one. Don't forget, Gianni also coming in with Texas, too pricey right now on the money line. If you missed out on that line before, he would like to come back in live on that. If you did miss the best of the number, he got it when the money line was so much better. So minus 170, guys, watch the start of that game. Those games kicking off right away. So you guys enjoy week 10, college football. Let us know what you're liking. All the best in all of your bets. Until next time, stay hot. Let's make some freaking money, you guys.